How's it going, guys? EVG here, and, well, you know what time it is. We are super close to E3 time, which means that it's time to get all our predictions out of the way, right? Our predictions for E3 as a whole. Now, here's the thing. I tried to do this earlier, and it didn't really take. The reason why it didn't take is because I was trying to incorporate all of the companies in my predictions. So doing Nintendo, doing Microsoft, doing Sega, doing Ubisoft, doing Capcom, Bandai Namco, Square Enix, the entire 9 yards. But here's the problem. A lot of that stuff I haven't really been paying that close of attention to. So as a result of that, if I do give predictions on some of these companies, they're mostly going to echo a lot of predictions that you've probably already heard right by now. I'd be surprised if I'm the first source of a prediction video for you, and I thank you for that. But seriously. Either way, we were given our schedule for E3. Not everything is guaranteed, but it does tell us, who's doing what and when. So on Saturday, we've got Ubisoft, Gearbox. Ubisoft and Gearbox with a session with GamesBeat. On Sunday, June 13th, we have Xbox and Bethesda Showcase. That's a confirmed time, starting at 1 Eastern. We've got the Square Enix show. That's also a confirmed time. I forget what it is, but if I remember correctly, it should be like 3 something. I forget exactly. There's also the PC Gaming Show and Future Games Show. There will be some Warner Brothers stuff as well coming on the 13th. Warner Brothers games and all that. On Monday, June 14th, we'll have some stuff from Take-Two, from Freedom Games, from Razer, from Capcom, and from Verizon and Intellivision. And then finally, on the last day of E3, being Tuesday, June 15th, that is when we'll have the Nintendo Direct and the Nintendo Treehouse Live presentation, as well as some stuff from Bandai Namco. That's pretty much the gist of what I get from this schedule. And even though I would like to go in order, let me start with the easier one to predict, really. So, if anything, I'm going backwards in order. We're starting with Nintendo. Nintendo and Nintendo's Direct and the Treehouse Live. What do I want to see here? Now, since I'm primarily a Nintendo gamer, I don't think that's a hot take or a sudden realization at all. But since I am primarily a Nintendo gamer, this is probably the one I'll spend most of my time predicting. So as usual, I like to frame these things as like, what do we know? What do we know for certain? What do we know is possible? And the actual predictions. Like what could happen. Here's what we know for certain. Unlike in 2019, where a lot of the games that were coming out that year were well known and were likely to all be featured at E3, this time we only have a few. We have, if we're talking the games that come out after E3. So E3 and then those games. Mario Golf Super Rush, game that I'm super excited for. The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. No More Heroes 3, still my most anticipated game of the year. And Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl in November. Those are the Nintendo games that we know for certain are scheduled for 2021. And I think they will all be in the Direct in some form. But all in all, I don't think any of them will take any longer than 2 minutes of focus. Like, here's the thing. First things first, Mario Golf Super Rush. At the time of recording, we've already gotten our big info dump from influencers. We've gotten our overview trailer, of course. The website has been updated. By that point, the game is, I don't want to say ready to ship out, but at that point, they're pretty much done with all the major advertising, and it's just going to be the little advertising here and there, the TV advertising and all that. So what that means to me is that this game will be sizzle reeled. This game will basically be sizzle reeled. Kind of like how Mario Maker 2 was back in 2019. That game was sizzle reeled. So I imagine that Mario Golf Super Rush will be too. The only way I can see it not being sizzle reeled is if they announce post-game DLC before the game comes out. Which could happen. We've seen that happen with Mario Tennis Aces. I just would be surprised if they didn't announce it in the overview trailer previously. But yeah, it's possible that they might just announce post-game DLC for Mario Golf Super Rush. Perhaps like a new character to unlock, just to bring in specifics. Last time it was Koopa Troopa. This time, let's say Toadette. Let's say Toadette is the character that they do, and they have like a golf tournament for it, which honestly would be pretty cool. But that's the most that I could expect, and even then, that still probably wouldn't take any longer than like a minute and a half for that. The presentation is supposed to be 40 minutes, so a lot of people talking about allotting time to it. I heard someone talk about allotting time to each thing. I feel like they gave way too much time to certain reveals, so, you know, there's that. Skyward Sword HD. I think that we could possibly see it, but I just have this quote-unquote bad feeling that we've seen everything. We've seen everything that we need to see about Skyward Sword HD at this point. That it's Skyward Sword, that it's in HD, and that its big new feature is locked behind an amiibo. So unless they've got like a new story to add to it, or like a special dungeon added to it, some sort of secret reveal, I don't think they'll spend any more than a minute on it. If they've got like a big something to add to it, we're probably looking at 3 minutes for that game. Which would be pretty cool, honestly. I personally, if I'm just going to predict, I predict it'll be there, but it'll probably just get a light mention. Maybe even sizzle reel. But it'll definitely be a showcase game at the Treehouse, though. They'll definitely play that at the Treehouse. No More Heroes 3. That is the game that I think that they'll probably spend the most time on out of these four. I think that No More Heroes 3 will probably get like 2 minutes. 2 minutes most. I don't think they'll get into a deep dive or anything. If anything, the most I could see is Suda51 coming on again, blocking the footage like he did last time. That was so funny. But like coming on, talking about the game, talking about how awesome it is, talking about some extra features and what have you. I doubt that they give it a deep dive like they tend to give their RPGs. Because when you really think about it, a lot of the RPGs that they reveal, they get like 5 to 8 minutes of time just to explain everything that's going on for them. And honestly, I feel like that's for the worst. Because that usually doesn't get people interested in them. As someone who doesn't get interested in them. But, you know, Nintendo does what Nintendo does. That's what I think is probably going to happen. But No More Heroes 3 in particular, I don't see any more than like 2.5 minutes on that. Just talking about some of the features again and letting you know that it's coming out in August. And get ready for some killing fun. Finally, Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. We'll probably get another look at it, maybe even like a new full trailer. But I don't think they'll expound upon it, because usually that's not what Nintendo Directs do for Pokemon. The last time I can think of where they've done that is Pokemon Let's Go. Pokemon Let's Go. That is the last time I can think of for them doing that. I remember Omega Ruby, Shining Pearl being in a direct, and it was just a trailer. I remember Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon being in a direct, and it was just a trailer. But they actually went into detail with stuff in their own Pokemon events. And I think that's just going to stick. So if we see Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, it's just going to be a trailer. Just to kind of throw this in here, I do want to talk more about this later, but just to kind of throw this in here, Pokemon Legends Arceus, I feel the same way. We'll probably just get another trailer, but we'll get into that in a bit. And a bit starts pretty much now, because now we're going to talk about what we know is possible. So what I mean by that is, out of all the confirmed games that Nintendo has, what do we see? Because here's the games that are confirmed for 2022/TBA for like Nintendo exclusive or first party or what have you. We have Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I just mentioned, Splatoon 3, Project Triangle Strategy, they better change the name of that, Breath of the Wild 2, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. I can't believe I said that back to back. Bayonetta 3, Metroid Prime 4, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. Although Shin Megami Tensei 5 is confirmed for 2021, but we just haven't seen it yet. So just a heads up, there are some leaks. There are official leaks about Shin Megami Tensei 5, and I think it will have a presence in the Nintendo Direct as a result of that. So that will probably be the RPG that they end up spending a lot of time on. But at the same time, Shin Megami Tensei tends to be a little adult in its themes, so maybe they won't spend as much time as I'm thinking. But hey, I could be wrong. Primrose was a harlot in Octopath Traveler, so you know, Nintendo does what Nintendo does. Breath of the Wild 2, that's the big one. That's the big one. Do we see it? I'm gonna be real with you guys. Unless they outright confirm at E3 that it's 2022, I still think it's coming out this year. I genuinely still think that it's coming out this year. And I think it's going to be their big celebration game for Zelda's anniversary. So honestly, I could see it. I could see them announcing, or the big focus of their Direct being Breath of the Wild 2. They give us the name, they give us a trailer, they show us what's new. Solid like 8 to 10 minutes on Breath of the Wild 2. That's like a quarter of the thing. Let's just say like 6 to 8 minutes. But yeah, I could see that totally happening. And then of course they go more into it at the Treehouse. But yeah, I could totally see Breath of the Wild 2 being at E3 and coming out this year. I could be wrong. Very well could be wrong. And I probably am. But I until they say it's not, I'm still certain that it's further along than a lot of people think. That's just how I feel about it. Bayonetta 3. So, we'll get into this when we talk about Square Enix, but Square Enix, for their presentation, has confirmed that they will be showing off Babylon's Fall, which is being developed by Platinum Games. Another game that came out this year already was also partially developed by Platinum Games, and that was Nier Replicant. I'm not saying Platinum can't have a bunch of games come out in the same year. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But I feel like Bayonetta 3 is probably further in the back burner than we think. So, like, Breath of the Wild 2 I think is further along than we think. Bayonetta 3, I think, is the opposite. I think it's actually taking a bit longer than we think. So, I don't think we'll see it at the E3 at all. Again, could be wrong, but I think that's the theme for this entire video. So yeah, because of Babylon's Fall, I don't think we'll see Bayonetta 3. And then Metroid Prime 4. No, not yet. We're getting closer. I think we're getting closer to the point where we could actually see something come from Metroid Prime 4. But until then, you know, this just still feels early. It still feels too early. Come back to me for the Game Awards. Come back to me at the Game Awards, basically. That's about the time where I start thinking, alright, maybe we can start seeing stuff for Metroid Prime 4. We'll talk more about Metroid probably right about now. Because, oh wait, no, never mind. I almost forgot. The stuff for 2022. We have Project Triangle Strategy, Pokemon Legends Arceus, and Splatoon 3. Pokemon Legends Arceus, I think we'll get another trailer. And it'll be a more recent build of the game that they'll showcase. Because I feel like they've heard that people are a little bit iffy about what they showed with Legends Arceus originally. So I think they're going to look at that and they're going to say, huh, alright, let's show them our more recent build and alleviate some of their concern. And I think that's what they're going to do. So that's going to be pretty cool. If they show it and it's great, it looks great, guess what? That's going to be my first Pokemon game. I'll be happy about that. Alright, and then Splatoon 3, I wouldn't be surprised if we got like a little trailer. But honestly, I also wouldn't be surprised if they just hold on to it until next year. And I think that's something that they'll do. I think that they will more or less hold on to Splatoon 3 until next year. It'll probably be like sizzle reeled, showing what's coming beyond the year or something. Or they'll give us like another trailer. But they won't do a deep dive or anything. Because I think it's still far off. I mean, they said 2022, right? I think it's still far off. Alright, and then Project Triangle Strategy probably will get the 8-minute focus if Breath of the Wild 2 isn't here, which is I mean, I don't hate Project Triangle Strategy, don't get me wrong. Strategy, a tactical game, sounds fun. I played it myself. It was, it definitely could use some changes, but I can see where the fun is in it. But doggone it, Nintendo, don't spend most of your time on RPGs again. I love RPGs, I do, but please don't. If you're gonna do a deep dive on a game, don't be predictable is what I'm asking. Please, don't be predictable. Don't make me write that you're gonna spend like a lot of this time on a tactical RPG. That's all I'm asking. Spend some of that time on a different game. Please. Spread it out more is what I'm asking. Alright. Now there's one more thing that I want to put in the what we know is possible bin. And that is Smash Bros. DLC. The reason why I wanted to do that is because I'm pretty sure everyone's on the same page here. We're definitely getting at least one Smash Bros. Character revealed at E3. I think we're getting them both. I think we're getting both of them revealed at E3. Both the second to last one and the last one. Because they usually do twofers at E3 anyway. 2 or 3 characters revealed. So, yeah, I think that's going to happen. Now, to get into specifics, who are the characters? Alright, so let me give you this scenario here. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all a story. This is gonna be fun. You can skip by this to whatever timestamp Future Me puts on here. But here's the story. So picture this. Smash logo does the little shing thing that it usually does, and then you get all the little boss photos. Like they did for K. Rool and Banjo's reveal trailer. So you get Mario fighting Bowser, Link and Zelda fighting Ganon, Kirby fighting Meta Knight, Fox fighting Wolf, Samus fighting Ridley, Donkey Kong and Diddy fighting K. Rool, and then you get a new one with Cloud fighting Sephiroth. So you get all of those, TV goes off, just like it usually does, and usually you zoom into Donkey Kong yawning, right? That's not what happens this time. This time he's just sitting there with a blank stare on his face like, what's going on here? What are we doing? He's just bored out of his wits. And then you hear snoring behind him. It zooms out to the hut, and it's just Diddy, K. Rool, Banjo, and Kazooie just sleeping. And then there go the explosions again. You know, just a bunch of booms and all that. And, you know, everyone wakes up. Diddy, K. Rool, Banjo, and Kazooie start freaking out. I love this idea I came up with, where Banjo's freaking out to Kazooie, and then Kazooie smacks him and he stops, and she just goes like, pull yourself together. She just goes like, pull yourself together. Meanwhile, Donkey Kong just gets up and literally exits stage left, just walks on out, like, yeah, I know where this is going. Everyone goes to the window except for Donkey Kong, who's already out of the hut, and just walks up next to the window while everyone's peeking out urgently. He just walks up there, he's like, yeah, well, who is it this time? Silhouette comes up, seems to be spiky. Seems to be somewhat spiky. Basically, the silhouette resembles Sonic. The silhouette resembles Sonic. Now, you might think, well, that's weird. Sonic's already in the game. Why would they tease Sonic? Well, here's the thing. The silhouette actually is Sonic, and it zooms into him, and he's shouting to DK and everyone, "Get down. Get down now." DK finally wakes up from his sarcastic look, wises up, grabs Diddy and Banjo and Kazooie, and ducks down before the hut is blown up by a missile. K. Rool's still in there. I'm sorry. There has to be a casualty. That's how it always goes for these trailers. So, DK, Diddy, Banjo, and Kazooie are sitting up there. Sonic runs over towards them, trying to protect them, more or less. And then, over the horizon, you see another silhouette rising. It looks mechanical. And then you hear the theme. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-dum, bum, 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 ba-da-da-da-dum, bum. You know the theme. You hear some maniacal laughter, and then it zooms out to reveal Dr. Eggman. Yep, Eggman brings the chaos. He's the new DLC character. So then they zoom to the gameplay portion, they show his trailer, everything's going as it usually does, showing his moves and all that. It plays Eggman as the song, EGGMAN, you know the one. I'll probably be playing it in the background here. So it plays the song for his trailer, and then in the gameplay portion, you notice that he's fighting Sonic, Donkey Kong, Diddy, and Banjo and Kazooie, and he starts losing. So he bounces back. Sonic is standing in front. DK, Diddy, and Banjo standing along with him. Eggman's starting to get frustrated because he's losing, like he always does. Sonic runs up and prepares to do a homing attack on Eggman, and then for a quick second, you see it zooms into Eggman's mouth. He gives a little smirk, and then you see something zoom out from behind him. Bam! Sonic's homing attack is met with an equal homing attack. Sonic is knocked back. He gets up from his knees, and then Eggman is sitting there laughing maniacally while a silhouetted figure stands in front of him, and then the eye glows red. Then his eye glows red. He zooms forward. Bam! Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic comes in as Sonic's Echo Fighter, along with Dr. Eggman. That is the big reveal that I predict. In that one, they would play either like a Metal Sonic medley, so like Stardust Speedway, his theme from Sonic 4, or the English Sonic Speedway, Stardust Speedway as well. Or they would play What I'm Made Of, which for some reason is not in Smash. The stage reveal would be, I'm going to say Final Fortress. I'm going to say that the stage reveal is the Final Fortress. Egg Fleet Final Fortress. And, yeah, they basically fight Eggman there. They show Eggman's Final Smash. They show Metal Sonic's Final Smash. And then the trailer pretty much ends there. But it doesn't quite end that way, of course, because Sonic still doesn't give up, so he zooms over toward Eggman and Metal Sonic, and they continue their fight, more or less. You get the drill. So yeah, I predict that Dr. Eggman will be the next DLC fighter, along with Metal Sonic as an Echo Fighter. Alright, I just wanted to get that out of the way, because that's been stuck in my head for months. And I just wanted to tell that to somebody. Fortunately, the last character that I think they're going to reveal, I don't have any idea how the reveal trailer will go, except this line has to be in there. What are you going to do, sir? Finishing this fight. Master Chief. Master Chief, I think, is the last character. So Dr. Eggman with Metal Sonic as Sonic's Echo and Master Chief. That's what I think that they'll reveal for the last DLC for Smash Bros. Ultimate. And I really mean that it'll be the last, because I don't think there'll be anything else. I will say this though. Eggman and Metal Sonic, I could see being released after the presentation. So like they do with Sakurai Presents during the Treehouse possibly, and then they release Eggman and Metal Sonic either right after the presentation or like a few days after the presentation. And then Master Chief, meanwhile, will get his own showcase a few months later. Kind of like what they did for Hero and Banjo. So yeah, those are my bold Smash Brothers predictions, basically. Alright, now despite all of that going on, I didn't get into what could possibly happen. My big predictions. The games that we don't know about. And there's quite a few. There's actually quite a few. I don't know how they'd fit this all in, but this is genuinely what I'm thinking. There's a few games that are still stuck in my mind. I predict these for the February presentation, and honestly, a lot of them I'm going to predict again. 2D Metroid, I am certain, is coming this year. I know we're not getting Metroid Prime 4, that's just not going to happen, but I'm positive we're getting a new 2D Metroid this year. Do I have any evidence to support that? No. But I just feel it in my gut, you know? I really feel it in my gut that we're getting a new 2D Metroid. Another series I think we're going to see more of this year is Donkey Kong. So there's been rumors going around that the 3D Mario team is working on the next Donkey Kong. There's no real specifics though. No one really knows if it's a 3D game or a 2D game. So no one's certain, but everyone pretty much has the assumption that it's either going to be like Donkey Kong 64 or Donkey Kong Country. I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that there's one other kind of DK game, and it's the classics. And that's what I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a classic Donkey Kong game, kind of like the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. Well, not series, but the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong. You get the idea. I'm thinking more along the vein of like a Donkey Kong 94. They've been doing the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series for a while, and it's definitely gotten stale to the point where they have no idea what they're doing with it. So I think they might want a fresh start and a way to celebrate Donkey Kong's anniversary. Considering Donkey Kong started that way, they're probably going to want to celebrate it that way, like the classic arcade game. That's why I think they'll probably do like a 94 style classic Donkey Kong game. But they'll probably expand it quite a bit. I could see them doing, this idea just came to me, I could see them doing a diorama style, kind of like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, with Donkey Kong 21. That's what I'm going to call it. Donkey Kong 21. I could see them doing like a diorama Captain Toad style with it, but obviously on a much bigger scale. Because you're trying to move closer to Donkey Kong or trying to like get the keys and what have you. So it would be interesting. It'd be kind of like a 2.5D game, more or less. And I could see that happening. That would be pretty cool, I think. So yeah, not Mario versus Donkey Kong, just Donkey Kong 21. That's what I predict for Donkey Kong. Now, another character that I think is going to get some spotlight at E3 is Wario. Recently, something has come out saying that, there's like a survey question asking, hey, would you pay $50 for a new WarioWare? It's oddly specific survey question coming officially from Nintendo. So it seems very likely that we are going to see a new WarioWare in the near future. E3 seems like the best bet for now, but I still think we're getting Wario Land first. I could very well be wrong. Could totally be wrong. I mean, we're already getting a 2D Metroid, so getting a Wario Land might be a bit much in the same year, but I could see it happening is all. Really, we don't know, but I think it's totally possible that we could get a Wario Land. But I'm certain we'll see Wario in some way, shape, or form. Be it Wario Land, WarioWare, or just wearing his little cowboy hat in Mario Golf Super Rush. One way or another, Wario's going to be there. Next thing I would probably predict would be Super Mario Party 2. So Super Mario Party got updated with online play this year. That was definitely a test bed. I think many of us can agree on that. Considering that this update came 2.5 years after the initial release of the game, yeah, it's definitely a test bed to see if it can even work. So, I think that they are working on online for Super Mario Party 2, and now that they know that people want it, like it, and it works, they're probably going to make that their big showcase at E3, more or less. So, yeah. Super Mario Party 2 with online play and all that, we'll probably just get like a standard trailer without much detail, kind of like what we got in 2018 for the original Super Mario Party. They'll probably go into more detail during a fall direct, because I predict that this game will come out probably in the fall time. I don't want to say October, maybe September. September feels about right for that. October, on the other hand, feels more like when Metroid, the 2D Metroid, would release. And then as for the Wario game, probably in August, if they're trying to spread it out properly. And Donkey Kong really could come out whenever, because I feel like, despite the scale that I'm kind of thinking of in my head, I feel like Donkey Kong 21 is going to be small enough to where they would put it out whenever and be totally chill. It's not like they never had 2 games in the same year come out, or in the same month come out, you know? 2 games that they published. I mean, they literally did that with Link's Awakening and Dragon Quest XI's, even though one is a Square game. But they did publish it. You get what I mean. So yeah, those are my bold predictions for that. Zelda. Guys, I really thought that we were going to get a standard Zelda Anniversary Direct just by itself, but we didn't. So, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I still think that Breath of the Wild 2 is this year, and probably December of this year is what I would predict. So, yeah, I would predict probably December of this year for Breath of the Wild 2. And then, if we get anything else, it'll probably be a Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD double pack. And I predict that that could probably come March of next year. A lot of people have it switched. So like Breath of the Wild 2, March of next year. And then the Zelda, the Twilight Princess, Wind Waker dual pack coming like December or October-ish of this year. Yeah, I have it flipped. And I'm probably wrong. Again, I'm probably wrong. But that's just what I'm feeling on that for now. That's what I'm feeling on that for now. Of course, we're going to get updates to games. Animal Crossing is probably going to get a notice on some of its DLC coming. Although, it might just be the same thing that it always has been. Or that it was last year. And that would be a bummer, because I really fell off of that Animal Crossing. I already mentioned Mario Golf Super Rush. There could be an announcement for DLC after the game comes out. And then there's the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity DLC, which I think will probably get like a trailer at E3. Given what happened at the direct the last direct, where it was just the details were flashed on screen and that's it, I don't really have high hopes for this. I don't really have high hopes for that. But yeah, that's what I could see happening. And I think that's really it. I know there's been rumblings about a new Kirby game coming, and that could be there too, where they reveal a new Kirby game. But I don't see that coming out until next year. Will it be 2D or 3D? I think it'll still be 2D. They might do 3D, which would be cool, but I think it'll still be 2D. Kirby is comfort food. They know that. And, 3D is what everyone wants, 2D is what I want. So it's fine for me. But, whatever. It's whatever. It's always whatever. Alright, and I already talked about Smash in detail, so we're good on that. Okay. And I think that's really it. Aside from that, there'll probably just be some third-party showcases, Tony Hawk, Fall Guys might finally get a release date. Spelunky. Just some other third-party stuff. And then probably some new third-party reveals. So, new third-party games being revealed there as well. I don't anticipate we'll get much else outside of that, though. Alright. And that wraps it up for Nintendo predictions. So if that's all you were here for, see you later. But now let's get into the other ones. Let's get into everyone else here. I'm basically just going to jump around here. Let's be real. Let's talk about Microsoft. Halo Infinite. Alright, let's talk about Square. But let's be real. That's going to be the big thing for Microsoft. I think that's a given, right? We're definitely going to see Halo Infinite. That's going to be their big thing. We'll probably get the next Forza as well. See more of Everwild. Maybe get a little bit more of a look at Perfect Dark. I would be okay with that. Psychonauts 2, which is supposed to be coming soon. Maybe the Sea of Thieves expansion of some sort. Is there anything else? The new Fable. That's right. There's a new Fable coming out. I don't know if we'll see that. Not entirely sure. I don't think we'll see anything Gears related. I feel like they've exhausted Gears for the time being. Plus, they're sharing the spotlight with Bethesda. So we've got to think about what Bethesda is going to show as well. So, as far as Bethesda goes, I don't know. I don't know at all. I know what kind of games they usually have, but the only games that are far out that we really know of from Bethesda are Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. I honestly think that what we'll get for Bethesda, as far as what I can predict, is probably a look at Starfield, finally. Because I feel like that's the closer to coming out of the two, even though I still think Starfield is probably still years away. But yeah, probably another look at Starfield, and probably just some updates to Elder Scrolls Online and some other stuff. But I think the big focus for Microsoft and Bethesda outside of Halo Infinite is just going to be showing us, hey, look at what we've got on Game Pass. Look what's on Game Pass. Look at what we're putting on Game Pass. You like this game? Guess what? It's on Game Pass now. You like this game? Guess what? It's on Game Pass now. Hey, remember that deal that we made for games to be on Game Pass? It's on Game Pass now. That kind of stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up putting Fall Guys on Game Pass. Although that might be hard because it's owned by Epic, but you never know. I could totally see that happening. At least I heard it's owned by Epic now. Whatever the case may be, I could totally see that happening. And I think there'll be some other games that they'll show off as well for Game Pass. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of my Microsoft predictions. Not much going on with that, but that's kind of where my headspace is. Of course, I'll get excited for a lot of stuff they show there. Halo Infinite is going to be interesting. I'm excited to see what happens there. Forza, you guys might not know this about me, but I love the Forza games. So I'm totally down to see more of what they have from Forza. Perfect Dark, I saw someone play that recently, the original, and I'm like, alright, I might check that out. So yeah, seeing more Perfect Dark would be awesome. I don't know if he'll ever do anything again with the Battletoads. I feel like that's a lost cause now, and that hurts. But we'll see. Yeah, that's about the gist of it. Now let's talk about Square Enix. So Square Enix has announced their E3 plans. I'm probably going to be jumping to that real quick. Here we are. Okay. So, the big thing for Square Enix is they're going to show off their... It looks like they're going to show off their new Eidos Montreal title, and they're going to highlight Babylon's Fall. So, I already talked about this earlier. We're going to see Babylon's Fall. That's the big Platinum game that they've got going. So, yeah, we're probably going to see more of that. That might actually release this year. I can see that happening. I can see it releasing this year. The Eidos Montreal game, I don't know. I don't know what they make. Now, earlier, not too long ago, they did a big Dragon Quest presentation. So, that's awesome. But, okay, Eidos Montreal does Tomb Raider and Deus Ex. Okay, cool. As far as the new Montreal title, it's probably going to be a new IP. I'm going to guess that it's a new IP. But I'm also going to assume that they're probably going to do a full modern Tomb Raider collection, if they haven't already. So, Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think they're going to do like a full collection of that, probably. But yeah, I imagine that their new title is probably going to be a new IP. So yeah, there's that. There's Babylon's Fall. Life is Strange is going to get a big focus as well. So that's going to be pretty interesting. They've also said that they're going to showcase the Black Panther expansion for Marvel's Avengers. Lord, they're devoted to it. But we'll see how it goes, I guess. We'll see how it goes. I guess people still do play it. I mean, it's still a Marvel game, so I'd imagine it still gets some attention. But yeah, I don't think we'll see anything Dragon Quest related at E3. And Final Fantasy is a big one. Final Fantasy 14, I want to say, is probably going to get showcased at Square Enix's conference. Final Fantasy 7 Remake Intergrade will probably get another trailer, like a launch trailer or something, celebrating the launch, or at least like a launch thank you. They'll probably say that they're hard at work on episode 2, and that's about it, or part 2, whatever you want to call it. That's probably all we'll hear about for part 2. And then Final Fantasy 16 is the big one. Will we see that? I don't think so. I don't think we'll see Final Fantasy 16. I think that Square is mostly going to be focusing on a lot of their Western games. Showing a lot of their Western games. Not the Japanese ones here. Dragon Quest got its own thing, and by that point it's like, yeah, they're probably not going to show much. Now, that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see something Dragon Quest related now that I think about it, because despite that stream being streamed even to America, the trailers weren't translated. The trailers were not translated. So we might see some translated trailers from that presentation. So Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, we might see that trailer again, but translated. Same thing for Dragon Quest 12. We might see that teaser translated. I could be wrong though. Could very well be wrong. But that's just what I could see happening. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for Square Enix. I don't think that they'll really announce anything new, especially nothing Japanese oriented. A lot of people are like, hey, give us an HD 2D Chrono Trigger remake. And me, I'm like, yes, please. But they're already doing Dragon Quest, so I don't think they're going to be doing Chrono Trigger as well. Not yet. Patience. Patience, my friends. We'll get there eventually. Alright. That's pretty much it for Square Enix. Is there anyone else here that I really want to talk about? Take-Two is obviously going to focus on Grand Theft Auto. That's like their big thing. They're obviously going to focus on Grand Theft Auto. There might be a few Lego games revealed. Maybe they do something new with LA Noire. That's kind of a stretch, but I could see it happening. Capcom. That's a big one. So Capcom released quite a few games already this year. Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil Village in particular. We'll probably see what the Capcom crossover... We'll probably see what the June's Capcom crossover content is going to be. I believe that's supposed to be June's. Am I correct or am I wrong? Either way, we'll probably see new Capcom crossover content as probably going to be either Resident Evil Village related or Devil May Cry related. So Rise will get some either Resident Evil or Devil May Cry content in it. And then Resident Evil Village, I think, will get its first deal of DLC. Probably something for Mercenaries mode, but also most likely something for the main story. They might announce that they're working on story DLC for Resident Evil Village. I could see that happening. What'd be funny is if, because of the popularity of Dimitrescu, they literally do a DLC story that focuses entirely on Dimitrescu and how she got wrapped up with Mother Miranda and her band of misfits. I can't say this word. Misfits. Good lord. But yeah, I can see that happening. They'll probably talk about Monster Hunter Stories 2. I think that they'll also have, because there's the big Capcom leak, right? They'll probably showcase a few of the games that were on there. Probably some more Resident Evil content, because Resident Evil 4 VR was announced, and then there's also RE-verse. That's probably going to get a lot of focus as well. RE-verse, or Reverse, or whatever you want to call it. There's also, I believe the leak confirmed that they're working on a new Resident Evil Revelations game or something for the Switch. So that will probably be in Nintendo's conference and in Capcom's. And I think there's also probably going to be a what's the word? Like a new Dino Crisis from Capcom. That's about the extent of what I'm predicting. Also based on their information leak. But yeah, that's basically what I could see happening. Those are all the possibilities. What would I like to see? A new Beautiful Joe. And a new Marvel vs. Capcom. Or just port Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to PC. I'll take any of that. Or port all the Marvel vs. Capcoms to Switch. That would be even better. An MVC collection would be pretty cool as well. Just a whole MVC collection. So the Marvel... So what was it? X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And then it was Marvel vs. Street Fighter. And then Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 3. We won't talk about Infinite. Street Fighter, speaking of which, we'll probably get a new showcase on another Street Fighter 5 character. I doubt we're going to see anything Street Fighter 6 related at all. So, there's that. Mega Man. I can't believe I almost forgot the Blue Bomber. It's been a while since the last collection, hasn't it? Because the last one was the ZX collection. Or the Zero ZX collection. I don't remember when that came out, but I'm pretty sure it was pretty early last year. If that's the case, I think we might see another Mega Man collection, and I think it could possibly be Battle Network. I think we might get a Battle Network Mega Man collection, which would be pretty cool. I think so, anyway. I think we're still a ways away from the next new Mega Man title, but when that does come, it's gonna be X9, and I can't wait for that. That's gonna be pretty cool. Even though I haven't played X at all, I'm still pretty excited about that. So, yeah. And that's pretty much it for Capcom. Now then, going through all of that, is there anyone else here? I don't know what Freedom Games does. I don't know what Razer does. Bandai Namco, they'll probably just reveal some more anime fighting games. So like another probably, well, actually that's more Arc System Works. Arc System Works is probably going to do the next My Hero Academia fighting game. But Bandai probably going to show off another Dragon Ball game, maybe another Naruto one. Are they working on a Demon Slayer? I think they're working on a Demon Slayer fighting game now. So they'll probably show that off. I'm trying to think of what the new big action anime is, because that's usually what Bandai Namco focuses on, is the big new action animes. But yeah, as far as like their actual catalog of games, like the actual games that they work on, Tales of Arise, we're going to see that. We're going to see quite a bit of that, I believe. We're going to see Tales of Arise. That's it. That's all. We might get that Klonoa game that I think leaked, or was what's the word I'm looking for? Trademarked. Like a Klonoa collection of some sort was trademarked. I could see us getting that, but outside of that, I don't think we're getting much else. At least nothing I can predict. Alright. I believe that just leaves Ubisoft now, and we're just gonna get more Tom Clancy junk. More Tom Clancy junk, more Just Dance, that's it. That's basically it. Ubisoft's conferences bore me now. And I don't know if I should even bother reacting to them at this point, because they're just so blah. It's just going to be Tom Clancy and Just Dance again. That's what I predict. As much as I would love to see another Rayman, or another Rabbids, or another Mario Plus Rabbids, or just another Plus Rabbids in general. As much as I would love to see those, or another Starlink, something like that, I don't know. Those games are really good. But I'm probably not going to see them. We're probably not going to see them. Assassin's Creed, I don't think we're going to see either. I think they're still taking their time with the next one. And then, do they have more expansions for Immortals? What was it called? Immortal Phoenix Rising? Yeah. Do they have more expansions for that? Because if not, they'll probably showcase that. They'll probably have another new expansion for Immortals Phoenix Rising. But I feel like that's a game that a lot of people did get into. It did seem interesting. Okay. And that's pretty much it, as far as everyone that's going to be at E3. There's still some companies that are, of course, absent from here. You got EA, you've got EA, you've got Sony in particular. EA will be showing off their next Madden, the next whatever sports games they usually have. I think that they will also be showing off some sort of new Star Wars property. I think they're still got a hold on Star Wars. I think they're going to show something new. I'm not confident in saying it's Jedi Fallen Order 2 yet, but I do think they're going to show something. And I do believe EA Play is happening sometime before E3, if I remember correctly. I just don't remember when. It's not on the schedule, obviously, because it's not at E3. But I do believe that they are having an EA Play sometime around E3. That's why I'm giving my predictions for these. Probably something new from The Sims. That's pretty much all I got. Maybe something new from Plants vs. Zombies. EA did Knockout City as well, didn't they? Yeah, so there'll probably be some cool DLC for Knockout City. I still need to play Knockout City, because I've heard that it's really good. And I was definitely one of those people that was turned off by the initial trailer. And from what I hear, the initial trailer was just bad, but the game was good, which is what I said originally when I saw that trailer. But I still never felt the want to play the game. Because, you know, online games, me and online games don't get along that well. But, yeah, I think I will try Knockout City at some point. Glad to hear that it's pretty good. Finally, Sony. Sony's already shown off a couple of their games heavily at this point. We've seen a lot of Horizon Forbidden West now. And, of course, the release of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is rapidly approaching. So we've definitely got a lot coming from the Sony pipeline. As far as what they could announce at E3, I'll be honest, the most I could see is just announcing more PS5 upgrades. So like more games that are going to be PS5 enhanced and getting those PS5 enhancements. I don't see new games coming from them around E3. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, not many. Not many big ones, I should say. They'll probably still focus on the ones that we already know about, like Kena and Horizon. Dad of Boy 2. The sequel. Yeah. God of War Ragnarok is coming 2022. So is Gran Turismo. The next Gran Turismo. So those are probably just a ways out. We're probably just not going to see them for a while. I can't really predict what else they would bring into the pipeline. We've already gotten our Little Big Planet-ish game with Sackboy's Big Adventure. We've already got Ratchet & Clank. Unless they do a Ratchet & Clank collection, fingers crossed, I don't really see much else coming from them. So yeah, I think most of the focus is just going to be on PS5 enhanced games. If they try to announce something around E3. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for all of these guys. All the guys that I'm willing to talk about anyway. So, if you guys stuck around for the whole thing, thank you. You're crazy, but thank you. I appreciate talking with you guys about this kind of stuff. This video is probably not going to be very heavily edited like a lot of videos are, mostly because I hate editing and I need to get this out before E3 starts, so yeah. But yeah, those are my predictions for this E3, and I'm excited to see what comes from it. Let me know what you guys think we're going to see from whoever, your favorite companies and all that. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, that is going to be it for me, so I will catch you guys in the next one. See you later!